everyone, this is Luba with Orgasmic Life, and today I'm meeting my midwife again. This woman was with me during the whole pregnancy, and then she helped me to deliver the baby. Yeah, so this is Maria, and today we want to talk about how my birth was happening. You know, my birth was so easy, quick. I didn't feel any pain. So I have been talking about my birth, but today I'm curious, how was it for you? How was your experience with my birth?
My experience?
Yes, how you experienced my birth?
Well, so I've been a midwife for 33 years.
Yes.
Right? And of course, my passion is to help women have empowered birth experiences, and of course to have them birthing with joy and celebration is I mean, that's so wonderful. You know, my hope is to help women to not be afraid of the experience, to have enough information so that they know what to expect, and to be confident in themselves that they can do this work, that they can kind of go in as a birth warrior and be able to do that strong, powerful work of giving birth. So of course you did that not only as sort of this powerful woman, but you did it with joy too. And so I actually do admire you so much. I wonder, because there's some people who, you know, talk about not being afraid, you know, they say, oh, I'm not afraid of the birth. But then when it comes to the moment,
It can be really scary.
Yeah, it's a shocker. It's very shocking that the work is so hard. But something about what you did must have been very deep inside of you, because you really embraced the experience, and I could tell that you weren't afraid because of the way that you embraced the experience. I feel like I remember you having a smile on your face when you were pushing and having your, you know, surges, and so not too many people experience birth like that. I mean, I would love for more people to be able to birth with joy like that. But it takes a deep, deep trust in the process, a deep trust in yourself, trust in the people around you, that you are held and supported, you know, maybe with a partner, with the midwife, like whoever's around you. You know, you need to be able to surrender and let go into that process. And I saw you do that so beautifully. Yeah.
And I remember, like, I'm standing on my knees and like the push started happening, and then I remember, like, you arrived and then you asked, do you want to go in the tub?
Yeah, because you were ready.
Because I
You
wanted,
were ready.
and I wanted to burst in the tub, so I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah,
That, like,
it's
you
like,
took
okay,
responsibility.
It's coming. You better get in there if that's what you want to do.
And then I
Yeah.
moved in the tub, and then you told my husband to go to the tub, like, to receive the baby. And we never practiced it being together in the tub, so the water started overflowing.
I think I remember that. I do remember kind of like bailing some water out.
You were like, where I can get a pot? Like, we were sitting in the
I was
tub.
afraid we were going to have a big overflow of water there.
Yeah, and we were in the apartment, so like you were coming with the pot and like helping to. So that was just so funny and so cool.
Yeah.
You know what is interesting that I ended up having some tears of the tissue, and then like later you had to do stitches, and during the birth I didn't feel it. Like, how do you explain it?
Well, many people,
It should be painful, but it wasn't.
Yeah. Well, many people feel that the water helps with that.
Oh.
So the water allows a certain amount of comfort and buffer, I think, to the high sensitivity of that.
Yeah.
I think it's common, you know, you know, your baby came actually fairly fast, and I think it's common sometimes that, you know, your body, you know, instead of just stretching, sometimes it just tears together because the baby's just coming right through.
Not waiting.
Right. So that's okay. That happens.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it was the water. I think the water helped because it was warm. Do you remember? It was a nice warm
It was
water.
very nice.
And
Yeah.
you were relaxed, and so
Yeah.
And I do also think that a lot of other sensation is happening in that area at the same time, so maybe you just don't feel it as much.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And like, I think as well that like some hormones like being like
The
released in the body,
endorphins,
the
yeah.
endorphins.
Mhm.
That like, you know how sometimes like you're excited, like for me it happens, and then I just scratch my hand and then I see blood, but I didn't feel it, right?
Mhm.
So I think it was like as well something that like all of this
Yeah.
happening, and then
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
didn't feel it.
Well, I think that there are a few people, not too many, but there are people who've talked about the ecstatic birth experience. Do you know what that means? Just very,
Kind of.
very high, orgasmic,
Mhm.
very, very high, being in a state of ecstasy,
Mhm.
right? With the
Mhm.
birth, so ecstatic. And that, high spiritual place, I think helps people to um, not feel the pain in that kind of way. I mean, some people don't even call it pain. Do you call it pain?
No,
Yeah.
no, no, no.
No.
It was intense experience.
Intense pressure.
It was deep. It's something I never experienced before, but it wasn't pain at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
when I do vaccine, that's painful, you know. Or when,
Yeah. Yeah.
but like birth wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that is what people describe as the ecstatic experience.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think it's interesting because I think the question is, can everybody achieve that?
This is a good question,
Can
yes.
anybody and can everybody achieve that?
Yes.
You
And
know,
what do
and
you think the answer?
I think why not?
Why not? That's the big question. Why not?
But I do think it takes a lot of work. I think it takes a lot of inner work to be able to get to that place of feeling so confident. I think you're someone who naturally feels confident in yourself and trusts the world. I mean, if you're living an orgasmic life, you must be trusting the world in some way, So for you, it was easy to kind of, oh yeah, okay, now I'm birthing. I'm just going to trust that experience too. But I think that there's a lot of fear in the world. There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of insecurity. There's a lot of mistrust. There's a lot of stories out there that are, some are real and some are not real, of traumatic birth experiences, of even what we call birth violence, where women are treated poorly in the hospital setting. There's been a lot of talk lately about something called body autonomy, where people can begin to own their body and their experience and make sure that they continue to own that. They continue to stay powerful in their body no matter what setting that they're in, so that way that they don't experience abuse in a hospital setting, and abuse in that regard is going to look very, very different than abuse in someone's home, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of it has to do with issues of consent, and consent means giving permission to do certain things to your body, right? And so sometimes in the hospital world, even though they try to do a good job, there can be moments when, such as vaginal exams or ways that people interact
that can
with people,
feel like abuse.
that can feel abusive, right? And that you don't have consent, and that can borderline on what people call birth violence.
Wow.
So that's a reality too, and so people have to get over that, and most people are not gonna. I would say most people are not gonna experience that, but most people, I would say, in this country at least, are afraid of the sensation, right? So they have to do a lot of inner work to be willing to accept that the sensation is going to be big, that there's going to be sensation there, it's not going to be like nothing, because, it will be something.
It is, yes.
And figuring how to embrace that. So you figured out for yourself how to embrace those sensations as something that was positive, something that was bringing your baby, which is a joyous thing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so you were able to transform that sensation in your body, and I would say also in your brain, to be something ecstatic and orgasmic as opposed to torture and suffering.
Exactly,
right?
and like I was questioning that nature created women to give birth. Why would it make it so like painful and terrible and unpleasant it should be a natural process, right? It should be easy and enjoyable. And when I convinced my mind that, like, hey, I am designed for that. Like, what if Maria doesn't come? Like, who knows what could happen? Like,
You just
like
have the
anything, right? I could just birth it myself.
Yeah.
Like, of course, it would be not as like, like I could be worried, but I knew my body knows how to
Yeah.
birth it, right?
Yeah.
And just think about it. Like, I'm coming from Ukraine, and grandmoms back in the day, like when there were no hospitals, they were just birthing like any place they are, and like often they didn't have a midwife, you know. Why did it come over time that like today this like the team of doctors needed doctor with the knife and like, you know, the medication, like why is it?
It's a
Why-
very good question. I think it's a very good question. I think it goes back many centuries, and it may have started when, so there was always midwives who were helping women have babies, and a lot of times it would be the sister or their grandmother or someone,
Like
you know,
woman,
the
like wise woman in the family,
in the village, right?
Mhm,
That person who would go and help people, right? And then that evolved to create midwives who knew more and more about how to help women. But in this country, I think in the 1940s or earlier was when the male takeover and the eradication of the midwife started to happen. So or at least so everything moved into the hospital. In the 40s, everything moved into the hospital. It must have been way before then, because a lot of, you know, way back, we're talking way back, right? Many more babies died than now, right?
Yeah.
But then there was this male doctor, and I think his name was Dr. Chamberlain, who developed forceps, and he ended up being able to save a number of babies, right? Because those babies that the mother would have died from labor obstruction, the baby would have died. So he saved a lot of babies, and all of a sudden he became, you know, like, oh yeah, and he kept it secret. Like, how did he do that? He kept that secret. He didn't share that with the midwives.
Okay.
Right? So men started to take over, and the doctors started to take over the birth experience, and they started to push the midwives out. And then finally, in about the 1940s in this country, they really started to push out home birth, and most of the baby births happened in the hospital. So the disempowerment of women began long time ago, and there's a lot to overcome. There's a lot to a lot of work to be done to re-empower women in their own ability and their own body autonomy to be able to do this work. You know, so we're talking a long time. It's been a long time.
Yeah. So that's another, like, another reason for women to take the power back. Like, my body was created to birth. I can birth. And it takes like some reading books, watching videos, like talking to people who had positive birth experience, convincing mind that it's like I designed to do that, so I can do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much, Maria. This is this is amazing. What like to end, like what message do you have for women who are afraid to give birth, and they like, you know, they ready to take like medication, C-section, anything to just, you know, to help with that fear?
Largely, I would say that in my experience, I have seen that giving birth is this opportunity. It's an opportunity for personal growth. It's opportunity for empowerment, because it's hard. It's hard work, you know, and going through that hard work, you come on the other side, and I was like, I did that, right? You know, I'm strong, I'm powerful. I was able to do that. And unfortunately, I feel a lot of times when women get an epidural and don't experience that process,
Mm.
they also don't experience the empowerment. I mean, of course they love their babies. They love their babies in their arms,
Yeah.
but how they feel about that experience of giving birth is very different
Yeah.
than someone who, you know, worked hard and pushed their baby out and, you know, sweat and all that, you know. So I think that giving birth is an opportunity. It's an opportunity to experience life to its fullest.
Mm-hmm.
To just experience the ecstasy that life can provide, to experience what your own what you're capable of yourself, your own power, your own strength. And also, if you have a partner, you know how your partner and you can work together to kind of work through this challenge together. There's so many beautiful things that can happen during that moment, and I just think that it's an opportunity.
Yeah, I love it. I love it how it's actually like after giving birth, I feel like I grew up as a woman, you know, and like I did it myself, and I loved it, and it's just like wow, like I really feel empowered. Yay!
Good.
Thank you so
All right.
much. Thank you for your time and your wisdom.